Disney's remake of Snow White is officially the worst movie on planet Earth. I mean, out of all the weird dystopian flop after flop box office movies that Disney has shoved down our throats, Snow White is probably one of the dumbest ones I have ever seen. I mean, Jesus wept. I mean, I must admit, our expectation for this movie was very, very low. But damn Disney, I'm beginning to understand why you kept this thriller hidden away, like some decaying rotten corpse that it really actually is. But in Disney's defense, releasing the full Snow White thriller on YouTube is like throwing a bag of raw meat to a pack of hungry wolves. But like a really bad case of bad diarrhea, there's only so long you can hold it in before nature takes its course. And well, the internet did not disappoint, as the trailer for the live-action remake of Snow White has surpassed the epic milestone of 1 million dislikes, officially making it the most hated movie trailer in YouTube history.
If you want the thing you love, you did it! Congratulations! Great job, everybody. It's great to meet you.
Honestly, the memes and comment section on this trailer are just pure gold, with the approval for this movie falling faster than Joe Biden can fall off a fleet of stairs. I mean, the horror and torture from this trailer is so scary that it looks like it belongs on one of the Saw movies. And can this unholy abomination called Snow White be banished back to whatever realm it comes from? Honestly, the creepy scary dwarfs do a serious disservice to nightmares. These things make Frankenstein look handsome. I mean, this hideous mutant abomination called dwarfs in this movie look so hideous that they make Hellboy look like Brad Pitt in comparison. I mean, seriously, these things look like they got possessed by Chucky, for God's sakes. I mean, for the love of God, why would you create such a crime against science, nature, aesthetics, and simple human decency? It's just like someone pulled this weird mutant CGI dwarfs straight from Pennywise's nightmares with the sole intent of traumatizing an entire generation of children. Well, at least the ones brave enough to go see this hideous abomination. I mean, seriously, I've flushed things down the toilet that look more aesthetically appealing than these creatures. And at this point, it kind of looks like Disney is actually going to need Will Smith to slap some common sense into them. I mean, this movie makes the tortures in the movie Saw look like a happy fun time in comparison. Seriously, if the movie Conjuring and Frankenstein had a child, it still wouldn't be as hideous as these dwarfs. I mean, seriously, why not star effing dwarfs in this movie instead? Are we really even allowed to say that? I mean, they're still dwarfs, right? I mean, I'm just saying, but hey, this is Disney we're talking about here. And don't even get me started on the initial idea of Disney for the dwarfs that look like this weird gender inclusive, colorful rubbish. That seriously makes me consider if Disney is actually serious about the Snow White movie being taken seriously. I mean, seriously, this abomination is like a rainbow and a deranged unicorn got drunk and had a child and proceeded to throw up on the child because the child looked hideous. I mean, everything about the Disney movie just makes you want to amputate your eyeballs and throw them far, far away. I mean, this Frankenstein monster called Snow White is totally an unholy abomination of everything the actual Snow White is supposed to be. And being someone who grew up watching timeless classics like Snow White, I must say that it is totally disappointing to see just how much of a botched job that Disney has done on the Snow White live action remake. I mean, seriously, Disney, this entire movie looks like some stitched up weird abomination by some evil Frankenstein doctor that refuses to just die. But the real thing that really infuriates me about the whole Disney drama is the fact that despite flop after flop at the box office, somehow Disney thinks that it is a really good idea to keep mindlessly cranking out stupid, ridiculous, politically divisive, woke nonsense in their movies that no one actually cares about. I mean, Disney, wasn't it Einstein that said the definition of insanity is doing the same stuff over and over again and hoping for a different outcome? I mean, this movie checks all the boxes of everything that pisses every movie-loving fan out there. From its weird dystopian choice of the main lead character who just so happens to hate the movie.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World. It was called Snow White's Scary Adventures.
She will remind you that she hates Snow White.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird.
I think you have a skewed perception on what stalking is.
And I grew up at the Disney parks. My parents took me every summer.
Oh, you did?
It is. It's a part of my upbringing. It's my favorite thing, so.
Everything that guy just says, bullshit.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again.
Like, I'm being so serious.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it.
That is
Not going to be saved by the prince.
Saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Too bad that movie was already made 11 years ago.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
My question to you is, why did they hire your ass?
I mean, this movie is quite literally the dumpster fire of all dumpster fires of what not to actually do if you're a filmmaker and do not want to actually create something that has more dislikes than it actually has likes. And with an insane 1 million dislikes on the official trailer of this movie, it's quite obvious that Snow White is quite literally a dumpster fire of epic proportion, literally just waiting to happen. I mean, I'm seriously salivating here as the anarchist in me is quite literally waiting for the nuclear Armageddon of Snow White to be launched on the whole world. I mean, apologies if it sounds a little dark, but have you seen the trailer of this movie? The trailer of this movie, from its cringeworthy VFX moments to all the stupid, woke, stupid rubbish going on in this movie, is quite literally enough for you to seek medical help and for you to quite literally rip your eyeballs off its sockets. And since we're talking about epic stupid things that Disney has done, why don't we actually talk about the one and yes, the epic, flawless woke princess of them all, Rachel Ziegler, who just so happens to hate the whole idea of the movie. I mean, seriously, why do a movie you actually hate? You quite literally cannot make this stuff up. If we could summarize a big percentage of everything that went wrong with this movie in 2 words, it will be Rachel Ziegler. I mean, seriously, who in his right mind thought that this lady actually looks prettier than this lady? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the mirror on the wall literally has to take a lie detector test to prove that it wasn't just lying that this lady is the fairest of them all. Because seriously, this lady be looking like Lord Farquaad in a dress. And while that might actually be the Andrew Tate or sexist in me talking, this is just me stating the obvious. I mean, anyone with eyeballs can actually literally see this. But well, beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. And that's if that person has literal functioning eyeballs. I mean, Jesus wept. At this point, even Stevie Wonder can see the irony of the mirror on the wall actually thinking that this lady is more prettier than the supermodel who literally starred as a god, and not just any god but a freaking literal Wonder Woman. I mean, what's the mirror on the wall high on? LSD? I mean, seriously, anyone with a literal functioning brain could have seen that this movie was not going to end well. I mean, in all honesty, even Stevie Wonder could have seen that from a mile away. And that's saying a lot about this movie. And what makes this even more insane is the fact that somehow Disney spent over $270 something million on this dumpster fire. Like, seriously, at this point, it just looks like Disney are just spending money like drunken sailors. Like, it kind of feels like Disney at this point is just throwing stuff at the wall and just hoping something actually sticks. And in all honesty, I don't know whether to feel sad for Disney about how much of a dumpster fire this movie is, or whether I am supposed to feel ecstatic about how much of a meme plug this movie and by extension Disney has become. I mean, seriously, this whole movie is a disaster, train wreck happening in literal slow motion. And then there's also the nonsensical, stupid rubbish of this lady quite literally every time she has a camera in front of her saying some of the dumbest and most stupid stuff that anyone with a functioning brain would know not to say. And then just when you thought that the movie Snow White couldn't hit any more epic proportions of lows,
there are growing calls tonight for Disney to fire Rachel Zegler, the star of its widely anticipated Snow White remake. It's because of an anti-Donald Trump post she made after the election, writing, quoting here, "May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace." Ziegler is now apologizing. She writes in a new post, "I let my emotions get the best of me, and I am sorry, contributed to the negative discourse."
Oh no! What happened? What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
I mean, seriously, at this point, even Dee from Dexter's Laboratory could have done a better job at playing Snow White than Rachel Zegler. I mean, anybody with a functioning brain ought to know that telling a big chunk of the audience who is going to probably watch your movie that you hope they suffer and that they know no peace isn't exactly a very smart marketing idea. But this is Disney we're talking about here. I mean, seriously, she quite literally has orchestrated the whole downfall of the movie, which, as just a personal advice to Disney, the very fact that this lady said she hated this movie should have been a big enough of a red flag for Disney to have ran in the opposite direction. But hey, this is Disney we're talking about. This is a wonderland of epic flops that simply only exists to do one thing and one thing only: piss off the audience enough that they want to rip off their eyeballs from their sockets and quite literally throw them away. But hey, this is Disney we're talking about, probably worth billions of dollars, so it simply means that they have millions and billions and trillions of dollars to flush down the toilets. And in that case, Disney, we salute you.
I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
And speaking on the dwarf issue, I mean, how does Disney, a company that just so happens to claim that it is inclusive of quite literally every gender and everyone in the world, have such bias against dwarfs? I mean, why not really cast real life dwarfs? But instead, Disney has decided to settle for this, I guess. I mean, Disney, word of advice: Snow White is a classic for a reason. It quite literally put you guys on the map. And have you guys ever heard of if it ain't broke, don't fix it? It's been said, but I think it needs repeating, that this thriller and by extension this movie is a perfect representation of everything wrong with Hollywood today. A creatively bankrupt project riding on the belief that just rehashing old ideas is better than taking the risk of innovating and coming up with new ones. A film so oversaturated with eye-bleeding color, nightmarishly over-bloated CGI that it almost seems like a joke to refer to it as live action, when I'm willing to bet that 90% of it was filmed against green screens. A story so warped and twisted from its original form to fit the filmmaker's warped and twisted idea of what the world should look like that it speaks to almost nobody. A film starring a narcissistic, ungrateful brat who thinks that the world owes her a favor because of how she was born and just can't shut the fuck up about it. But hey, here's to me counting down the days and time before this movie actually drops. And I'm not gonna lie, the anarchist in me wants to see this movie drop so I could just rip it all apart, because if this movie is anything like the thriller, then it is a floating pile of shit. Quite literally. I mean, this just shows how far down the rabbit hole of dystopia Disney has fallen. But as I bring this stuff to the end, it is worth noting that I am not actually against Disney. I just want to see real actual entertainment that isn't pushing some woke BS or trying to quite literally lecture me on what entertainment is. I mean, PS Disney, people only tune in because they want to be entertained, not because they want to be lectured. So freaking get off your moral high horse and actually do what you are paid to do, which is to entertain the audience, and leave all of your drama and BS outside. And to the studio executives like Bob Iger, yes, a serious word of advice. Maybe if you have gotten yourself in a hole, you at some point might want to stop digging your own grave. But hey, I'm just saying, because judging by the unholy abomination that is this Disney movie, it is clear for anyone with eyeballs to see that Disney is definitely heading off a cliff if they continue to produce garbage like this. At this point, Disney delaying the release, the full Snow White movie is just delaying the inevitable, as it is quite obvious for everyone to see that this movie is dead on arrival. As anyone with a brain knows that releasing this movie would only be putting the final nails of the coffin on Disney's official demise, as the backlash and controversy from this movie has not only tanked the Snow White Disney classic, but has the potential to quite literally bury the Disney brand as a whole. My name is Media Anarchist, and if you enjoyed this video, then you should definitely subscribe for more, where we tear apart entertainment with brutal honesty, fresh take, and zero corporate fluff. So what are you waiting for? Join the rebellion, and I'll see you in the next one.